I personally don't believe only depending on college is gonna get you a better career, because if in your college itself you have thousands of students or hundreds of students you're competing with, and in entire Hyderabad will be having more, just multiply by 10 or 100.
Hello everyone, I welcome you to the 0th episode of eDAM Spotlight. I'm Sneha Vellelath, I'll be the host for today's session. Today we have founder and co-founder of eDAM, that is Abhishek and Vivek. So guys, please introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Abhishek Nagaraja, and I'm the founder of eDAM, that is e-designing and marketing, and I'm also the director of Avia Solutions Private Limited.
Hello, Andy. This is Vivekananda Gavini. I'm a second year at uh, IARE. I'm a CS cybersecurity student. I'm also the co-founder and a director at Aviha Solutions.
And yeah, I'm a fourth year student of IARE.
So Abhishek, as you are the founder of eDAM, so I would like to ask you, how did it all start for you, and as you have reached so much till now?
Well, the journey starts in my ninth class of my schooling. I used to be a I got introduced to game development, and I used to work with a few of my friends back then. We used to develop games in Unreal Engine. And in ninth, we participated in an event called Game Jam Titans, and we didn't win that time. So we wanted to get better, and we wanted to try it again in our 10th class, and we did, and we did win that year. We came second, top highest in the whole Hyderabad region. We were against 64 other teams. So that was my first step, getting into the development or software part of my career. I was very interested, and I wanted to pursue my career in game development. So, and then after my 10th, I asked my parents, like, how do I pursue my career in game development? They said, you do that in engineering. So then I got to know about engineering. So, but to get into engineering, I had to do my intermediate. So I got through my intermediate. It was very tough because of the MSET preparation or mains preparation. I did not even get time for me to prepare or get better in game development. But once after my intermediate, when I joined my engineering in IARE, and then I was like, now I have to get back to game developing, because that is that after even after 2 years, I still wanted to become a game developer. So I joined after joining my engineering, and after coming, I started speaking to some faculties, to some seniors, and I asked them how to get into game development, etc., etc., etc. And they were like, you don't have, they don't teach you specifically to learn how to develop games. So then I was like, okay, I'll talk to my seniors. There might be a game developer somewhere. Well, there weren't. I did speak to like fourth and third years, and then I was like, and then I did a little bit of research, and at the same time I even got introduced to application development, and I was like, after I did speak to my dad's friends. I used to talk a lot about game development with anyone I find, and then they were like, this is what, like, application development is what happens in service-based companies and product-based companies. And then I started researching, I started talking to people, and then I understood that all the applications in our mobiles or laptops or everything we use is actually an application, and people develop it, and that is how people make money, or it's like the highest paid job in Hyderabad or other places. So then I got introduced to application development, and then I went searching for app developers in my college. Well, sadly, there were only 2 to 3 developers, and I was very confused. I'm in an engineering college, and there are barely few developers in our college, and I was not getting any help. So that was stuck in my mind. And I did my first year of engineering. Corona broke out. I came back after second year, second sem, and suddenly on March 15th of 2021, yeah, I got an opportunity. My HOD called me into a staff room and a couple of other people, and I got an opportunity to start a club. At that point of time, I did not even know what a club was. I didn't know what kind of clubs even exist in other colleges, nothing. I just got an opportunity in front of me to do something about it, to use it. So yeah, I took that opportunity. eDAM was the name, which we just, I don't know, surprisingly got it and stick till now, and we have been using it till now. So yeah, as I said, the full form of eDAM is e-designing and marketing. There's a reason behind it. The actual reason is when you start working on an application, you'll first write down the requirements, and then first thing is you design it, and then you develop, secure, test, deploy, and then the last thing which you do after development and deploying is you start marketing. You start selling the application for the people to download. So marketing comes in the end. At that point of time, this is what we knew, so that is why we get the name eDAM. And yeah, so that was the start of my technology career. So my main aim was to encourage developers and designers in our college, and I can happily say that after 1.5 year or 1 year or something like that, we did increase the number of developers in our college, designers in our college, cybersecurity enthusiasts in our college, cloud enthusiasts in our college, and digital marketers in our college.
Yeah. So, Vivek, what is your story behind being the co-founder of eDAM, and what has motivated you to be that?
Uh, so I was always this driven kid. If not driven, I was always an inquisitive kid even from my childhood. So I was in love with computers. So when I got into my 12th, that is when I started freelancing. So I learned how to build websites. I started freelancing as a WordPress developer. Although I was making money, I've understood that I wasn't enjoying the process. So the process was not enjoyable for me. Then I figured if I'm not going to enjoy a process, doesn't matter if I'm earning money, I won't sustain in it for the long run. So then I started looking at other fields. Cybersecurity was something that was very close to me, even when I was a kid. I've always had my attention to it. Then when I've realized that web development wasn't working for me, that is when I seriously considered cybersecurity as a career option. Then I started researching on it by my own. This was happening when I was in my 12th. It was during the Corona lockdown period, so I had plenty of time in my hands to do the research. So I made myself a roadmap. I thought I'd stick to it. I'd adhere to it no matter what. Then I got into the college. I was determined from the first day I got into the college. I had my roadmap ready. I knew what I had to do. I just had to stick to it. Then in that process, in the introductions that customary introductions that happen at the college, I came across eDAM. I actually joined eDAM. I filled an application for eDAM even before I got into the college itself. I knew about eDAM through one of its social media handles or Instagram handle. So there wasn't a field for cybersecurity back then. Although our college had only then introduced cybersecurity, it wasn't present in eDAM. So I worked closely with Abhishek in developing the security field, cybersecurity domain in eDAM. So that is how I came. My association with eDAM started. Then one good thing that has happened to me was we've got into internships. So eDAM had this really good company visit them, asking for it, looking for interns. So all of us, even you and I and Abhishek, we were working in the same company. So that is when I and Abhishek started working closely. We knew how each of us worked. Then Abhishek had plans to expand eDAM into other colleges as well, because it has worked so well for us in IARE. Because it all started when there were no developers in our college, like he rightfully said. We went from no developers to having a lot of developers and having a lot of practitioners in each of the fields that we had, and also getting them into internships. So this was progress. He just wanted to take this to other colleges. That is when I joined him as a co-founder. We've been at it for the past several months. We started out in October 8th, and we've been at it ever since.
So, as you told, eDAM started off as a club, and now it is a community. So, when did you see yourself like changing to that phase? That what made you think it had to be a community rather than a club?
Actually, when I started up, as I said before, when I started up, it as a club, I did not even know how to run a club. I My only aim was to increase developers, and after exactly 9 months after starting the club, as he said, we got internships. We got around 15 or so internships that time, and when we got that internships, it certified that we are making valuable, we are increasing the number of developers, and we are doing something with ourselves. We are adding value to ourselves. we are changing, we are doing something which is not like it's not, which is not normal. And then I saw that, like, people were happy, people, because getting an internship, that to a paid internships, which where we get paid for our work, was really happy, and I was very happy about it. And like even the students who were like committee members or club members were a part of it. And then we thought, and then I used to go to different colleges, like to talk to them, talk to the technical clubs in those colleges, etc. and all. The one thing which I found out was, either the colleges don't have the clubs, or the colleges which do, they are concentrating only on coding or programming. They're not focusing on enterprise application development, which are the actual technology which are business required outside. These are the technologies which are running the business applications outside. These are the technologies which people are working on applications outside. But that was absent in those colleges. And yes, colleges do have GDSCs and even Microsoft, I think. But GDSCs are only concentrated on Google technologies. And yeah, some clubs are taking their own initiatives for starting their own, just starting web dev and all, but still they don't cover all the technologies. What I believe is, if you're joining an engineering college, you want to become an engineer after 4 years. I believe that you should, as a student, should be given a chance to understand all the technologies are outside, and you yourself should try and figure out what technology you should pursue, and then you have to grow your career on it, get work experience, and then get a better job. Because in these 4 years, it decides how much money we'll make, for how much, how long, and so many things depend on that. And we were trying to do this in our college, and we found a few things absent in other colleges. And I thought this, I would have regretted in my life if I wouldn't have at least tried to expand what we did in IARE in other colleges. So that was one reason why I established eDAM as a technical community of Hyderabad. We have students from 17 different colleges. Right now, we have 1,400 community members, and we are working on nine different technologies. We have planned to increase more as soon as possible. We have impacted more than 300 students. Impacted as in they actually are learning something, and they're becoming developers or designers or etc. whatever. Yeah, and we have organized more than 50 plus events on our, mainly awareness events and all. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very important to spread awareness and even a opportunity to every student so that they know what is good for them.
Yeah. One more main thing I wanna add is, Tier 1 students have everything: their college, their environment, their mindset, the students, the competition. But Tier 2 and maybe Tier 2, I don't know, but Tier 3 students don't have that competition or environment or mindset. But because it doesn't matter if you're in Tier 1 or Tier 2 or Tier 3, you're spending 4 years of your time, you're doing the same degree, you're working on the same curriculum. But if you're not getting what you should get, and if you're not becoming what you have to become, that is a bad thing, or a sad thing, to be honest. Not bad, it's sad thing for students who are spending their 4 years, precious 4 years of 18 to 22 in these colleges, and not realizing or getting awareness on those technologies to become what they want to become and make a career out of it.
The problem statement we're trying to address here is very simple, Sneha. See, what happens most of the times is, as many of them might already know, people get into engineering colleges, they somehow go through it, they graduate. Then most of them, I'm not talking about all of them, most of the colleges, most of the students in tier 3 colleges like ourselves, uh, they go through the engineering process. They try and learn a technology once they graduate, most of them here. So when they learn a technology, could be in 3 or 4 or 6 months, the technology they get trained in is a technology they get placed in. They try and find a job in that technology. But later, most of them might have a realization that they're not enjoying that technology as much, because there's no way one could tell if a technology or a field or a sector is worth spending their entire life in for them, until and unless they get their hands dirty in them. So the colleges that we have, or the environment that we have in college, might not exactly encourage having hands-on experience when it comes to industrial technologies, right? Today, like Abhishek said, we focus on enterprise application development. So not many people right in their colleges know how to work on any of the technologies. So that is where we thought there was a gap. We thought if a person could learn a technology in 6 months and get a job, why can't that person do the same in their first year or their second year? So if that person could learn a technology every 6 months, it would mean in span of 4 years they'll be able to learn 8 technologies. Speaking technically, of course. So they'll at least have a chance to test multiple technologies, see if it's worth trying. And one big problem that would arise if a person would like to learn that technology would be where to start and how to do it. That is where we come in.
We simplify every process based on all the technologies that are available outside, where to start. You don't have to go searching for any YouTube video. You don't have to go or look for practical implementation. You don't have to download a course. What we do is, the solution for that is, we have created this project or program called 100 Days of Technology, where our mentors or all the students who are learning, who have learned, who have experience in this technology, have curated 100 days worth of resources and all the projects and all the other information of that technology, with mentors guidance and contact information, and the mentors will be in contact regularly if a student is making progress. So all the thing what a student has to do is, if you're interested in a technology, go pick it, start learning the technology. You don't have to go search about YouTube. If you go search on YouTube, you'll find thousands of videos and you don't know where to start. And if you don't know what exactly is the content being delivered to you from the from the YouTube video. So basically, in a nutshell, we save you a lot of time. We provide you all the list of resources of technology with resources and mentor guidance and everything, and you can just start a technology just like that.
Hmm.
So basically, when tier three students mostly, we mostly depend on our college to teach us something and get into something. But as in your story, like you have learned cybersecurity from scratch by
Yes.
yourself. So what would you say about that, and how important is consistency in that journey of getting somewhere?
Uh, if you ask me, I really found it very time consuming coming up with the proper roadmap, because cybersecurity in its current form is a very budding industry or a nascent. It's at a very nascent stage. So there's no proper roadmap for anything. So it took me a lot of time to understand the types of career roles involved in cybersecurity and also what they do, and detailed roadmaps for each of those career roles. When I found my passion, that was penetration testing or application vulnerability assessment, I found that staying consistent really helped me, because one at times it feels as if we're entirely overwhelmed. But whenever we don't give in to the feeling of just giving up, we can see progress all by ourselves. I myself have noticed progress when I kept going through a course, because what happens in my field is you don't just go through a course and you call yourself a person that has knowledge in that field. It is entirely about implementation. You'll have to hack into networks, you'll have to hack into machines in order for you to call yourself a cybersecurity professional or a penetration tester like me. So it the high that you get whenever you crack a machine, whenever you spawn a shell, that is unmatchable. And I've clearly seen the difference when I was only trying to crack it, only trying to hack into an application without going through the proper training for it. And when I do it consistently and then try and hack, the results were totally different. I've followed a detailed or a guided approach or a systematic approach. I found out that the percentage of results that I've received, they were much higher. So I'd say being consistent and being detail oriented and disciplined in your approach is very important.
Uh, okay, to answer your question, I personally don't believe only depending in college is gonna get you a better career, because in your college itself you have thousands of students or hundreds of students you're competing with, and in entire Hyderabad you'll be having more, just multiply by 10 or 100. So if you are just sticking to the college syllabus, that won't get you anywhere. So I personally believe that you have to work more than what college provides you. And yes, I agree with the consistency matter also, because if you're not consistent, you're not doing one particular thing at a regular period of time, you will lose interest, or you might. And if you're losing interest, you don't get to learn it properly. And if you need motivation to learn something, it's better you don't do it at all.
So right now, so that eDAM
There
is
should be a reason for you to do something. If you're learning or put a technology, for example, web development or something, have a reason for it or before you start it. Like, if you think that web development is having a good career, that is a reason why to learn web development. And that should be the reason for you to learn the technology consistently also. If you lose interest in between, that means, well, you're not doing it properly. So
It also scales down to whether or not you're liking what you're
even
trying to
that,
do.
yeah.
Because like people say, it's not about the results. The entirety of any result or is mostly the process. Even I when it comes to my field, I'm sorry, when it comes to my field, reconnaissance is the phase where they collect a lot of data about the machine. So that phase is the longest of any hack or any trying to get into a machine. So if you, whether or not you're able to sustain that phase is what decides if you're going to have a really good outcome. So what really matters is whether or not you're loving what you're trying to do, because the process is going to be the majority of it, and the result is only going to be very short, and the result is going to be short lived because you'll have to soon engage in the process again. So if you don't enjoy the process, you're not in it for the long run.
and even knowing about the technology, if it is working for you or not, it should be you have to keep a complete effort on that particular
Exactly.
technology. Like trying it for some time and thinking it's not working for you, that's also not right. So you have
Yes.
to put your complete effort and then see if you're liking it or not.
Yes.
So now that eDAM is a technical community of Hyderabad, it not only focuses on technology, it even focuses on entrepreneurship and all of
Yes.
it. And you yourself, as you're an entrepreneur for a very long time, what are the milestones that you have experienced and what have you learned in the whole journey?
Well, when I, the first time I got introduced to the word startup or entrepreneurship was in August 2021, because that is when I started planning to my first startup, and that was to create a social networking application for college students. That was my first startup, first application, and because of that application only we got to know about other technologies and we increased our knowledge on technologies and all. Well, if you talk about milestones, well, the first milestone was obviously that starting it, and the second milestone was we didn't continue the first startup because of some different reasons, as in like we did not have the total knowledge of all technologies or we didn't have the proper team members. There were different reasons, and second milestone was also we starting different applications itself. So as we were like going through a process of increasing the developers, we wanted to work on applications and build applications. That was the basic thing. So we started working on different applications such as college canteen applications and decentralized social networking application, distributed ledger technology. So all these technology we were building, but we didn't continue. But right now, to be honest, to say that successfully, the startup which I'm running, the best milestone or the milestone right now is eDAM. eDAM, when I started at a startup, like we have different revenue models. We have been working on different business models. We have been talking with incubation centers. We have been talking with investors, etc. and all. Now I actually feel like I'm working on a startup. We have a very big team. We are focusing on increasing our awareness on technology, and we are like So this is the major milestone you can say in my career, in my entrepreneurial journey.
So it's not easy to have a startup and to be running. And what is your driving force like that you're constantly working on eDAM and want to do something with it?
Well, if you ask me, I would say that the reason why I even continued eDAM IARE as a club is I saw people's lives being changed. I saw people working on something. I saw people learning a technology, getting internships, getting paid for that. I saw people's progress going through the roof. That made me more happy. I started networking with people. I started talking to college students from different colleges. When I was in my third year, I was actually working in a company, which like most of my friends in my college or class were like, I don't think like mostly they were not doing that made me feel awesome. I felt like we are making progress and we have been doing. And I felt like this is what should actually be happening. And in my college, I'm not being a narcissist, but I don't think anyone will or would have continued if I would not be doing EDAM.
So
That is my driving force. I like when people, when I see people progress going like shooting up, and that to eDAM is the reason. That is my driving force.
So what would your driving force? What is your driving?
The thing I found really close to me is what I've believed in. That is, you don't know if a technology is good for you until you get your hands dirty. And I'm a testament to that. And when I came to know about eDAM was functioning even before I entered the college. The alignment was exactly the same. eDAM was trying to impart the very same thing. Since this is someone who's already trying to do what I entirely believe in, I thought I'd give it a try, and it even gives me a high looking at people making better choices and informed
The
choices.
reason why we are sitting here today and talking is also because of that.
Yeah.
So networking is something that is not said out loud, but is very important aspect of our life. What is your take about it? What would you say about it?
Well, networking is one of the biggest part of my career, especially of eDAM and everything. Because of networking, I know people from different colleges working on applications. I'm working on their start. Even I'm working in their startups. All the guests who are gonna sit in the spotlight. The main reason is networking. And with networking, you can not only get friends or etc. But also you can build your financial or business level even better. You can get you can, I'm not gonna say personal branding, but yeah, it will help you become a better person, and you can do the things which you might feel it is not possible to do at some point of time also. So yeah, networking is important.
Also, professionally speaking, it's a cutthroat world out there. Doesn't matter if you're the best in your field. If people don't know that you exist, or people don't know that you have this amount of skill set, it amounts to nothing these days, because you can't work until you're given an
But
opportunity.
even if you are best at it, and if people don't know about it, what is the point?
Exactly. It doesn't matter if you're the best at your technology, but if an opportunity is not given, or if you yourself don't create an opportunity, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So networking is like, people say, I know a guy. Networking is all about being that guy, being the guy being the guy that comes to people's mind whenever they think of something.
Exactly.
So networking is very important when it comes to getting into getting opportunities or doing something for yourself.
So now that you're in an episode of Spotlight, we would like to listen to the founder and co-founder itself. What is Spotlight for you? Why did you start it? What was your vision for Spotlight?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just tell us first the story of how we started, and then I'll tell you the reason why. So it was October 7th or something, 6th or 7th. Vivek kept a story, and I and Vivek became a really good friends, like back from then itself. And he kept a Instagram story of a podcast. I don't know why. I just replied to that story like, bro, let's just keep a story. So let's just start a podcast. I was like, yeah, sure. And yeah, we just started talking about it, and I was like, actually, that period of time, I met a guy's LinkedIn of in our college. Apparently, he's building WordPress websites and he's making money out of it. And I don't know about him. Many people around in my network don't know about him. And I was like, you know what we should do? We should get these kind of people to our podcast and make sure they are heard, because he's an engineering student who's in the age of between 18 to 22, and he's using his skills to make money out of it. It's not, yeah, so that's an important thing. What I wanted others to know about the general population of engineering students of Hyderabad, I wanted them to know about it.
There's this very common conception that whenever we see a successful person, we automatically associate themselves with a tier 1, tier 2 college. We automatically think they're from a really good college. That is why they must have gotten into such a good position. But what the reality is, there are so many people that have made ways for themselves from getting into tier 3, tier 4 colleges into success all by themselves. And these are the people that most people don't speak about. So we thought, since we were surrounded by so many, we personally know a lot of people. Since we were surrounded by
networking.
Yeah, networking. So we thought these stories need to be heard, because there are many of us that can't relate to a lot of people. When you see someone speaking about how they got through their entrepreneurial journey, we can't usually relate, because we're not coming from the same place. So since there was no one else or not many doing what we're trying to do, thought we should give it a really good try.
I also believe in the content a student absorb shapes their minds and activity and the person itself. Because it's a known fact that people spend a lot of time on social media or watching TV shows or animes or whatever that is. They actually change their lifestyle based on that. And I thought this can be one of the ways where we can take advantage of social media to spread what we want to share, and that is increasing the awareness on application development technologies, or trying to how to gain work experience in different ways, because there are many different ways of gaining work experience, and it's very important to get work experience. Why a student should get work experience? Why should student should learn technology? Why should a student concentrate on their life or career right in their engineering? We were trying to do this for 1.5 years through a form of a community, but we felt like we were not able to reach a larger crowd. And at the same time, we got the idea of podcast, and we realized that in this way we can reach out a lot of people at the same time. So that is the main reason why, one of the main reasons why we started Spotlight.
it's
So,
it's just our very humble effort of trying to bring out these stories and putting it out in the public.
So in this podcast, what we're planning to do is we want to give those tech enthusiasts on the technopreneurs, or uh, like people who made out of themselves from tier 2 or tier 3 colleges, who became successful by themselves, who paved their own path. We put them in front of under a spotlight, and we want them to share their story, because that is when it will be relatable, because they are from tier 2 and tier 3, and it's not that difficult. Even any student from any college can do that.
it's a very unique part of Spotlight, but there are so many students out there. What would you say to them that would make them uh, listen to this podcast? And like, what is the unique thing, completely unique thing about Spotlight?
Okay, so I would say that we are doing this for student by being a student.
So
We-
there's that
we-
relatability factor again.
That is the first relatability factor. And I know, as in with my experience, I know what it is to spend 4 years of my life, have regrets and have no regrets. I don't want people to regret something after 24, because I really believe that 18 to 22 is the time where you have to fail or you have to make mistakes. But people are not even working towards that. Like, not people, some people, most of the people are not working towards to even fail or make mistakes. And that is what we'll be talking about here. The point is to try, and some people tried, and we want to bring those, and they tried and they succeeded. So we want to bring those people. We will not we'll get those people over here. We will talk to them about their stories. We'll try to use that as an inspiration to motivate our listeners. So that is a unique factor. Yes.
So that's it for today's session, I guess. Thank you guys for this great talk.
Thank you, Sneha.
So yeah, you can find our podcast on various streaming platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, or
Apple Music.
Apple Music. So you
YouTube.
can find it over there. And yeah, this was Spotlight, sharing the dream to your and our